Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Friday, January 20th, 2012. There's a lot to cover, so let's get right into the market. Earnings season is underway. We're going to start off with the S&P 500 E-mini futures. You'll see that they are trading down by about 3.25, 3 points, right to around this 1307.50 level. So futures coming under a little bit of pressure this morning, but really not all that much. The market has basically gone straight up since December 19th. The S&P has gained over 100 points since that time in just a light volume helium type float. Market has moved higher and higher. Today, the market's coming under a little bit of pressure, but we'll see. Normally on a Friday, we don't really get a big decline in the market. Generally, the market will hold up, and maybe if it does end lower, it just finishes slightly lower. But market is trading down by 3.5 points at the moment, and we'll see how this day plays out. Again, you don't want to take anything for granted. There are a lot of earnings being released. Europe is still the wild card. It doesn't look like there was really anything damaging coming out of Europe today. There was some UK data that was a little bit lackluster, but other than that, the European Union really didn't have much to say. It looks like there's going to be some news out of Italy, where it looks like Mario Monti, the new Italian Prime Minister, is going to try to get a plan passed to cut some debt in Italy. So again, more of the same stuff. It's really nothing groundbreaking here. We'll just have to see how the market plays out. But again, each and every day the markets just continue to just grind higher, light volume, rally after rally, day after day. Every little sell-off is being bought up, and the market continues higher. There's no volume in this market, which means it's very, very dull. And remember the old market adage, always tough, never sell a dull market. So it's always tough selling into light volume. But in any case, futures are down about 3.5 points, and we'll see where they go today. A lot of news to cover, so let's get right into the charts here. We do have gold trading a little bit lower today. You see the GLD under a little bit of pressure, trading down to around the 160.40 level. GLD did close yesterday around 161.22. Nothing really damaging here. GLD has had a great move as of late. So to see the gold market pull back a little bit, it's really not a big deal. Spot gold is down, I believe, 7 points to around $1,647. So really not that big a deal at the moment. Let's take a look at oil and the USO. Yesterday, the USO closed at $38.69. Today, the USO is trading at $38.40. So down a little bit here. Spot crude is down about 65 cents, just underneath that $100 a barrel level, right to around $19.95 per barrel. So once again, oil down just a touch. Gold is down a little bit, and you see the markets down a little bit. Everything seems to be deflating. If everything's deflating, it means one thing: the U.S. dollar index is probably getting a bid. And you see the dollar here is trading higher by about 15 cents. It's really not a big move in the dollar. If you take a look at the daily chart of the dollar, you'll see that the dollar has been down 4 consecutive days in a row. Today, it's getting a little bit of a bid higher, but once again, not really all that big of a deal. We'll see if the dollar can push higher again here. That would maybe put a little bit more pressure on this market. But the markets have remained euphoric for quite a while, and really throughout the entire month of January so far. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty here. There are a lot of stocks to talk about. We'll start off with the big one for the Dow Jones, which is going to be IBM. This stock is probably 10% of the Dow Jones in and of itself. IBM's having a real solid morning, trading up to the 185.75 level yesterday. The stock did report earnings after the bell. It closed yesterday at $180.52, so positive reaction for IBM. I suppose the stock could run up a little bit, but again, there seems to be some resistance. I'm going to say right around the 188 level, but it's coming off of a pretty decent pivot low, so this stock may have a strong gap higher, so be a little bit careful. Don't really look to fade IBM, at least not initially. It looks like it's going to be a decently strong gap. I'm not sure how high it can actually go. Like I said, the 188.75, 189 level seems to be decent resistance, and then ultimately 190, 191. I just have a hard time seeing the stock get through that level. But nonetheless, IBM is starting off pretty well this morning and had taken a positive reaction to earnings yesterday after the closing bell. Let's take a look at Google, because this is the one everyone will be talking about. Google's getting hit pretty sharply today. Stock closed yesterday at 639.57. Today it is trading at 590. It is off the morning lows. The level to watch for Google, if it does flush will be the 560 area. 560 area is going to be significant. Maybe 560, 562. That is the bounce area for Google. So if Google gets down there, there's your bounce play for a scalp today. Possibly even a bounce play on the daily chart and holds for maybe a couple days. But 560 will be the area. Always got to be careful after earnings. But 560, 562, that is going to be the level on Google that you want to keep your eyes glued for. I'm not sure it gets there, but if it does, that's going to be a very, very attractive bounce level. Okay, so watch Google. Now, in sympathy to Google, you could see the Chinese internet companies down today as well. Stocks like Baidu could come under pressure. Baidu today is trading down a little bit, not by much, but you could see it was down sharply last night and has rebounded. But Baidu, another one is Sohu. This is holding up pretty well. Another one is Sina Corp. This is actually holding up pretty well also. But if Google continues lower, you can watch the Chinese internet stocks probably follow suit a little bit to the downside. Okay, so watch that closely. Let's take a look at Amazon this morning. Amazon this morning is getting hit. Let me put that symbol in correct. There we go. Amazon's trading down about 4 points, right to around 190.50. The stock closed at 194.45 yesterday. So a decent little pullback for Amazon there to start the day before the open. So watch Amazon here. I'm not looking at a real significant level. Amazon looks like it has a ton of overhead resistance, and I'm surprised it got the big gap down this morning without going a little bit higher first. But nonetheless, the stock is down a little bit. We'll see if it does come down. There will be some short-term support around 185, 184.50 in that vicinity, and after that, it's really much lower. So Amazon under a little bit of pressure this morning, just worth noting. And we'll see how that reacts. After the bell yesterday, we did have Intel report earnings. This morning, Intel's trading right around the $25.85 level. Yesterday, Intel closed at $25.63. So not a big deal for Intel. The stock has a ton, mark my words, a ton of resistance around 26 and a quarter. So, does it get back up there? It remains to be seen. If it does, there's a ton of resistance up there for Intel. Let's take a look at a few others here. I believe ISRG, Intuitive Surgical, had earnings. This is a very, very thin stock. It's very difficult to trade this stock. It's mostly institutions that own a handful of this thing. But you'll see that it got really hit pretty hard after the close yesterday, trading right around the 550 level. This stock will have support around $434. So if it gets down to 434, 435, there's your bounce area for this stock. Right now it's sitting right around the 450, 453 level. It's a very, very thin name, so be careful here. This stock does not trade a lot of volume. I can't tell you the last time that it's traded 1 million shares in a single day. So again, it's a very, very thin stock. Let's take a look at Microsoft. MSFT, Microsoft, positive reaction. The stock had already, the company had already guided on weak PC sales. So once again, Microsoft's hanging in there. There's a ton of resistance up here around this 28.50 level. It's trading right around 28.83 in the pre-market, so just above that area. We'll see if it can push a little bit higher. I'm not so sold on it. It's had a big move. It just may really stall up here around 28.50 to 29, and we'll see how it plays out. But there really isn't all that much to Microsoft at the moment. The stock has had an incredible run, though, since late November, when it was trading below 24.50. Now it's up at the 29 area, so it's had a great run, and just may need really more consolidation, if you ask me. A couple of other stocks that I'm looking at here this morning. One is Capital One Financial. Ticker symbol is COF. This stock is getting clobbered. Again, it finished the day at 48.77, trading down to around 45.67. That's a pretty good haircut. The stock will have very, very good support at a couple of levels. I'm thinking around this 42 and a quarter and then down to 41.50. 41.50 looks like very, very good support for Capital One. So keep that on your radar if the stock gets down there. I like the 41.50 level, but it probably has some support around that 42 and a quarter level as well. But 41.50 is really a very, very good support area if it does get down to that level. So watch that there. Stock in the news today reporting earnings, I believe, is Schlumberger. You see the stock is trading higher, right around the 73.80 level. I still think Schlumberger has a lot of resistance here, but you never know. After earnings, it could break a little bit higher. The gap up here is really not an ultra strong gap, but it's okay at least at the start of the day. So watch Schlumberger. It maybe trades a little bit higher if the oil services names do get a bid, which I think they're very close to really putting in short-term tops. But if they do get a bid, maybe this one will trade a little bit higher. But that seems to be a lot of resistance around the 73.85 to 74 level on Schlumberger in the near term. But the gap is semi-strong. It's not the most powerful gap, so it's going to be a little bit tough to really play that one. Let's take a look at SunTrust, ticker symbol STI. This stock had earnings, and really there's no volume here to make much out of it, but it is trading just a little bit lower, not really all that big a deal. General Electric also had earnings. The stock got hit initially, and now it's coming back this morning, coming back up a little bit. Nothing great that I see on GE. The stock's coming off of a high, so be careful with this. It may trade down a little bit more, but it has rebounded nicely in the pre-market from the 1840 level back now up to 1876. So GE down a little bit this morning ahead of the opening bell. Let's take a look at American Express. This stock is trading down just a touch. American Express has been a strong name, closed at $51 or $50.95 today. It's trading at $49.90. I think American Express is overcooked on the upside, probably needs a little bit more downside, needs to consolidate a little bit before going higher. But it's been a very strong name as of late, as most of the financials have been. But watch American Express. That one is could be a strong gap down, and that could go a little bit lower. Okay, so American Express does have some more downside potential if you ask me. Let's take a look at Fifth Third Bank. FITB is the ticker symbol. The stock is trading a little bit lower, closed around $13.56, trading around $13.10. Nothing really significant here. Stock's held up. As long as it stays above $13 on a closing basis, it's going to be in okay shape. But the stock has a ton of support around 12 bucks. So $12 is where you can get interested in Fifth Third. If it does get down there, I'm not really sure if it will. But again, earnings season is always pretty wild and crazy. You just never know how these things are going to trade. But watch Fifth Third. If it gets down to 12 bucks, that's a very good support level, at least for a short-term bounce. Okay, with that said, everybody, I'm going to leave it there today. I ran a little bit over my time, but there's a lot to cover. I want to wish you all a great trading day, and those of you that watch the pre-market video, have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday. Take care, everybody.